I've had enough ridiculous questions and rumors asked of me. I'm going to make a comment on Errol Spence Jr. and whether he's coming back to boxing or not after his unfortunate accident, rumor swirl. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you so much to the two communities that really are the backbone of this channel, the Patreon community and the live stream community. Thank you guys so much for your encouragement and your support through the Super Chats, the Venmos, the Cash App, and also your support on the Patreon. Make sure you check out the new Patreon video that's coming up today. And also, please, we have a great show on Sunday, 8 a.m. OG Boxing Talk with my co-hosts, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, Trap House Boxing, and my man, Curtis, the historian Anderson. Let's talk about Errol Spence Jr. and these rumors that are swirling around. It seems as usual, when the PBC goes quiet about issues, you have the peanut gallery throwing their 2 cents in there, speculating about what maybe coulda, shoulda, might be happening out there. So why should a very unfortunate accident within the boxing fraternity be any different? Why should the people who will clickbait you to death and spread all kind of other nonsense that wind up not being true, what should prevent them from doing the same thing in the case of something that was a near fatal accident? You know, no shame whatsoever in the game, right? Anyway, Errol Spence Jr., if you didn't know, and I know you know, but let's go over it. Errol Spence Jr. was in a car accident. Very, very fortunate to get out of there alive. We know that at the time of this video that he is alive. He did not perish in an accident where a Ferrari flipping over multiple times at a speed of over 100 miles an hour. He got out of it. He walked out of a hospital. That should be enough for people to be thankful and happy that another human being isn't permanently damaged, right? That should be enough, but no, it's not. We need the interview. We need for Errol to come out here and give his public statement about what's going on, and so I can stick my mic in his face. That's what we need. And since he's not doing it, hey, let's just guess about it and say our sources tell us that this happened. Our sources are, my sources are telling me this. My sources are telling me that. Who's your source? Okay, who's your source? Because ain't nobody out of the state of Texas saying that to people who know him. Not hearing whispers from anybody that I know knows him. I'm hearing whispers from people that I'm pretty confident don't know him. Regardless, this ain't the first time that this stuff has happened. With the PBC and PBC fighters, sources abound. When certain people don't have straight access to the people who would know for sure. So let's go through a couple of examples of this. Do you remember when sources of Chris Mannix just the weekend before last said that Adrian Bronner and Gervonta Davis got into a fist fight, and that Adrian Bronner turned around and cold-cocked a PR guy for Gervonta Davis, but yet cameras see Gervonta Davis and Adrian Bronner walking out of the arena together, laughing and giggling. How did their horseplay, which by the way is on tape, turn from them goofing around like they do in the hallways after fights that you've seen on several other occasions, right? Acting silly, acting like young, just being silly. Ain't nothing even harmful in that. I'd be the first person to criticize Adrian Bronner for doing something stupid, or Gervonta Davis for doing something stupid. But just playing around, horse playing, somehow that turns into felonious assault? Because Chris Mannix had sources? Let's go through some other of these sources. You remember when the PBC was going out of business in 2014 and in 2015 and in 2016 and in 2017 and in 2018? You remember that? You remember how they just kept going out of business? The longest going out of business sale in the history of mankind. They're like the, according to these guys, these anti-PBC guys, they're like the vacuum cleaner store that you drive by for the last 15 years, and every year they got a going out of business sale. Like, hold on, man. How many times you gonna have a going out of business sale? You gonna actually ever go out of business? Oh no, the going out of business sale is just a way to bait people in there to think that they might be able to get a good deal on a vacuum cleaner. So we just do that on a regular basis. Oh, marketing ploy, I got you. So, but the PBC was going out of business, right? Their investors were pulling out. Their network deals were failing. Remember all of that stuff? But yet here we are in 2020. They're still in business. They've got two of the best. They've got two of the two major networks televising their fights almost exclusively, Showtime and Fox. Remember, they're going to follow pay-per-view is dead, but yet they're having back-to-back successful pay-per-views. It's amazing how long and how bad a job the PBC has been doing of going out of business. Then, when they apparently are doing well, because hold on, man, they can't be going out of business just because they're falling apart. I mean, we can't sell that story for another year because, man, we've been doing it since 2014. Probably whenever the PBC was founded, day 2 is when they started it. Okay, with the lawsuit from De La Hoya and Bob Arum till the time that the Fox deal was done. But then it shifts from that to Dana White and his backers from Endeavor are buying the PBC. Now, I've been waiting to see when this deal is going to come through. For somebody that said it, the reports was that it's imminent, right? That it's going to be taking place. Have they sold? What happened to that, right? So there you go. There's another rumor. There's another rumor that goes pop. But these occur in situations where you don't hear the PBC speaking to the media or the people that you're talking to speaking to the media to get them information, right? Errol Spence Jr. is not saying anything to anybody. Similarly, Al Heyman wouldn't give anybody interviews. He's not answering questions about what he wants to do with the PBC. He's not answering questions about what his financial backers are doing or what his financial status is. He won't actually let the barbarians in the gate. So what do they start doing? Start banging their bats and there's things on the wall and screaming, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. What can I say so I can at least have something to say? So now here you go with this Errol Spence Jr.'s never coming back to boxing again. He's not said a word publicly. There's nobody that I've heard close to him that has said that. And I'm telling you, I've heard rumors, other rumors will hit me in the ear. I never pay attention to them because they're just that. They're rumors. Your sources, unless you're willing to say that the information is forthcoming, but anyway, you get my point. Errol Spence Jr. not coming back to the sport of boxing, it should be treated no differently than any of the other many rumors that people have made about PBC fighters, for I have to assume the purposes of getting views, the purposes of having clicks to their page, the purpose of being relevant and being able to say that they're breaking news or that they have an inside source, some type of way. And then when you have this source, you can't ever verify your sources. Now, clearly this is not illegal. Clearly this is something, journalists have to protect their, people that are giving them confidential information so that those people don't get backlash for sharing the information, when they'll be able to get information from other informants. But here we're talking about somebody that isn't even really given a direct quote, right? If there's a sources say, and you put little quotes on it and you give some type of detail to it, like, Joe Schmo is not going to come back to the football because it was found that he really has a torn knee and he has shoulder operations that are taking place 3 weeks from now. That's at least some specificity you can give to it. They'll be like, oh, that's the information. But this stuff is, the injuries are just worse than they thought it was, and he's never coming back. Not, man, he's got to have surgery. He's got to do this. How close can your source be if you can't actually give the reasons? What exactly is worse than they thought it was? What? Was it the lacerations? What was it? No specificity, just a basic rumor about it, which may or may not be true, but we'll know that it's true or not true when Errol Spence himself actually says something. Anyway, so that's my take on that stuff. I take it with a grain of salt. And honestly, I'm just happy that the guy is healthy, that he's healthy and healthy enough to be walking around and alive enough for people to be making rumors about him. And he's going to be wealthy enough to where he ain't going to starve and his kids aren't going to starve if he chooses to retire tomorrow, because he could just decide to retire because he's sick of crap like this. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.